Hey guys, it's been a while since we've been in touch, so sorry about that. It's been crazy busy, but I'm going to send an email and kind of explain how the rest of the term, the rest of the semester is going to go. How this will be is that I will have presentations from time to time, and then I'm going to have you guys contact different teachers to figure out what they're doing to teach. So it's going to be kind of it's going to be odd. I'll be in touch with more information. Today, though, I'll give you till Tuesday to listen to this, and you're going to add some discussions. I'm going to put a discussion board up and under modules, sorry, not modules, but under Canvas. And when you get done with this presentation, I'd like you to comment on three ideas about the Common Core that you thought were interesting, and then end it with sort of whether you think the Common Core is good or bad for the education system today. There's also an assignment that I need you to do as well on under modules in Canvas. Well, let's get started here today. This is going to be a very long presentation. I want you to get over to Canvas and watch this interesting video and then read some articles. But I do want to introduce what Common Core is. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you may have not. But let's take a quick look at it. But before we do that, I want to start with some questions that are attached to the Common Core. So I wanted you to take a second and see if you could figure out what the heck is happening here. So take a minute and look at this and see if you can solve these problems using the number bond way, whatever they're asking you. Kind of weird, right? So instead of teaching the traditional way, which some of us were taught, this is sort of a new way to teach it. Here's another one. Look at the way they're asking these questions. So you're probably sitting here thinking it's kind of confusing, is this going to help? And since everybody wants to be elementary school teachers, Common Core is actually applied more often in the elementary level. So I wanted you to see what people are getting used to. So which pictures are alike? I love the parent on here. It's like, you tell me. I don't know. It's kind of different, right? Okay, so what is Common Core? Let's identify a few things about it. First of all, it's not a curriculum. It's not, it's not actual numbers and words. It doesn't tell teachers how to teach. What it is specifically looking at English and math, and this is why if you notice in school district, these two subjects are so heavily talked about. And what this is about sort of becoming a world performing country. We're competing. Again, that's why the Common Core was introduced. It's also the idea of aligning to colleges so that if you move from one state to another, you are roughly getting taught the same thing regardless of where you are. It's also focused on 21st century skills, computer technology, things like that, okay? There are really four ideas that the four C's connected with the Common Core: creativity, communication, critical thinking, and collaboration. So every time there's a problem being introduced, has to fall under one of these four categories here, okay? So let's take a look. Let's take a look at math, for example, okay? So what are some examples of the way that you have these content standards that's introduced, And then how do you make them real? How do you make them practice? Okay, so what do you need to do? So let's say this is grade 2 math. You have to understand that 100 can be thought as bundles of 10. It's called 100. Pretty simple, right? Grade 3, use a place value understanding to round whole numbers to the nearest 10 or 100. Pretty simple. Grade 4, use place value understanding to round multiple digit whole numbers to any place. Notice how it's very vague. It's not telling teachers how to teach. It's just saying this is what they need to know. The problem is that when you start to get up and look at some of these things, they want to sort of, this is all about not learning the problem as much as the journey to the problem. And that's where the Common Core is. They want you to understand how this thing works. And then the idea is, then you'll be able to pick up on analytical, critical thinking skills. So these are some more standards for mathematical questions that are specific to the Common Core. Make sense of problems, observe and solve them. Very vague. Reason abstractly and quantitatively. Construct viable arguments. So notice you're not dealing with sort of just anything too crazy, all right? So here is a Common Core standard. Band members set up chairs for a band concert gym. They had 9 rows and 63 chairs. Which equation shows how many chairs and are in each row? That's pretty simple. That's the way I was taught math. That's the way you were taught math, probably. Some of you might be in Common Core. But now look at the difference of the change of the math question. Joe and Sally make 72 cookies for a bake sale. They will put an equal number of cookies into bags. Joe and Sally want to put more than 2 cookies but fewer than 10 cookies into each bag. Sally can only put 8 cookies into 9 bags and 9 cookies into 8 bags. Joe thinks there are more ways to put an equal number of cookies into bags. So you notice how it's like your brain's already like, whoa, there's so much more here. And that's the idea, right? It's not for you to figure out just what division is. It's for you to sort of have a journey in discovering the answer to these problems, okay? The problem, of course, and you're going to see this, is people get confused. And when they get confused, then they get frustrated and school doesn't become learning, or it doesn't become interesting or fun. It becomes tedious and a problem. And this is why people have a hard time with Common Core. So just some more information that comes out about what they're looking at. English is another big one. Literature, short stories and myths, informational text, right? I mean, so like I say, it's vague what they're doing. It just ends up being that the way it gets translated becomes kind of complicated. So look at grade, this is another grade 2, this is reading. Students retell stories. Grade 3, you recount stories. And then grade 4, you're going to determine the theme of the story. So, it's the same. I mean, it's sort of the key of understanding education in that level. But again, this is the problem of the journey. Okay, so that's really all I want to do. Now I want you to read 2 articles available on my Canvas. And also, I would like you to go on, there's a short little video on that too. Watch that, and then go on the discussion board and tell me, after reading those articles, watching the video, where do you stand on the Common Core argument? Is it actually making us better or worse? If you have any questions, let me know. Hope y'all are doing good. I'll talk to you later.